Orientation and mobility looks so different everywhere you go in the world, and I think that that's one of my favorite aspects about it. At the International O&M Online Symposium, we get to learn about O&M from a variety of different perspectives, and that helps us to become better teachers. And in today's video, I have an extra special present for you. A presentation that was done a few years ago that we've had in the vault. I reference this all the time, and I wanted you to have a piece of it. In this presentation, we get to learn from two teachers who also teach orientation and mobility in Croatia. Martina Settler and Hrvoje Gudlin, of course I probably said their names wrong, come in to teach us what transdisciplinary approach actually looks like. And even as somebody who worked at one of the best schools in the nation, I learned at that time that I wasn't doing it right. Now, of course, because this is on YouTube, there is no CEU, but if you're interested in joining the symposium, we have plenty of CEUs opportunities available for you all of the time. Click the links below and we'll get you hooked up with actual opportunities to get CEUs. But don't let that stop you, because this information is gold.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the presentation titled From Still to Space, Creating a Transdisciplinary Model for O&M Instruction, presented by Martina Sedlar and Hrvoje Gudlin. I am Dana, and I will be your moderator today. Questions and answers will be held after the theoretical part of the presentation, before case discussion, and then at the very end of the presentation. Please hold your questions for the presenter until that's Q&A time, at which I will read them out loud to our presenters in order that they came in. Feel free to use your workbook to take notes and write down your CEU codes. The CEU quizzes will open in the portal at the end of each day. Please do not give any CEU codes out in the chat. I will briefly introduce our presenters. So Martina is a special education teacher with a master's degree in rehabilitation of persons with vision impairment. In Malidom, Zagreb, she works in a group of children with multiple disabilities, both as a special education teacher and an orientation and mobility specialist. In 2016, Martina became a vision therapist, and for the past 2 years, Martina is conducting functional vision assessments at an early in a transdisciplinary team, along with a physiotherapist and an early intervention specialist. She's a mother of a 2-year-old girl and enjoys yoga and spending time with her dear ones. Good evening, Martina, and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Hrvoje is a pediatric physiotherapist with a master's degree from the Faculty of Health Studies in Rijeka, Croatia. He shares a great interest and motivation for rehabilitation of children with cerebral palsy and additional developmental difficulties, and has a history of working in healthcare and social care sectors. Since 2016, he has been working in Malidom, Zagreb as a physiotherapist and a whole week instructor with children and young adults who have multiple developmental disabilities. Hrvoje has a role of the European Academy of Childhood Disability National Coordinator for Croatia. In his free time, he loves running, cycling, and other outdoor activities. Good evening, Hrvoje.
Thank you for a nice presentation about us.
And that would be all for me now. Martina and Hrvoje, please.
So hello from Croatia. We are Martina and Hrvoje, and we are employees of Daycare Center for Rehabilitation of Children and Young Adults, Malidom, Zagreb. And today we are here to talk about the children we work with and how they go from not moving anywhere and not having an intention to move to actually moving and going and reaching for things that interest them. So this is our organization. We are funded by the city of Zagreb, and we have kids that come here from birth to 21. And the population we work with are children with multiple disabilities and visual impairment. and about 100 of them are coming here daily or weekly. And now we have a number, I think, a little bit larger than 300 per year that go through our counseling and assessment and counseling. So the programs that we have here are transdisciplinary assessment and counseling, where children come and they have assessment of the team. Dina already mentioned vision therapist, special education teacher, and physiotherapist, where we decide and see what the children needs are at the very moment, and they enroll in either early intervention or our daycare center. But most of them, they just come for assessment and counseling, and are enrolled in public kindergartens, garden schools, or other organizations like Maledon. We also have education center where we provide education for other professionals. And Hrvoje and I, we are a part of that team. Also for professionals in Croatia and abroad. And of course, we are very proud of our collaboration, mainly with countries in Europe. Mainly in Europe, and in Croatia and of course abroad. As I already mentioned, the children we work with are children with multiple disabilities. They have profound intellectual disabilities. This is the definition from Perkins website. We pretty much collaborate with them every day. And what we found that when you have a child with different kind of disabilities, it does not add up. It's not like 1 + 1 = 2, but you have a different construct which has an effect on all the areas of life of the child. So our colleague Martina and Isabella Amaral, they put together some educational needs for children with profound intellectual and multiple disabilities. As you can see, there are plenty of them here in the slide, but what I would take from all of this is the participation in activities that we provide here in our center. You have to take all of this into account when you plan and actually do the activities with the children, because they of course need an ongoing extensive support in all areas of life, but they have they can participate with an optimal level of support. So what actually we try to use in all of the areas, in the assessment, in early intervention, and in our daycare center, we try to use a transdisciplinary approach. I'm sure many of you have already heard about it. It is an approach that its aim is it's not that you provide services that are fragmented. They have to be coordinated and integrated, so you can meet the needs of the whole family, not just the child. And it's very family-centered approach. It has 3 main features. The first is the arena assessment, where you have different kind of professionals. For example, our team is made out of 3 of them. And one of them is the facilitator, and mainly is in contact with the child. We try to make it that only one comes in contact with the child, so the child is not overwhelmed with this whole new situation. Then the other feature which is needed is an ongoing interaction between colleagues, and that is a very hard part because you have to exchange much information and knowledge between colleagues, have many meetings afterwards, supervisions, etc. And then you have the role release process where you can see here the process of coming to the end, to the role release. It is a process that every professional goes through when coming to Malidom, and you gain it through experience and through work on yourself, not just professionally. Where you go from extending your actual role. For example, for me, I'm a special education teacher, so I had to get some knowledge specific when working with this population. And then I started to be aware of other disciplines and how other areas, for example, motor development can be in interaction with, for example, use of vision, which I'm mainly focused on. After that, you go to the expansion of your role, where you learn about other disciplines, and at the end, so I don't go into details. At the end, you actually use the strategies and techniques of other disciplines, so you can be the only one that is interacting with the child. But of course, the thing that is needed is support from your colleagues, and sharing knowledge and releasing my own role as a special education teacher, and maybe working on some goals, like maybe standing or walking with the child, which may not be my main focus at the beginning. You can see here the difference on this picture. On the left side, you can see the disciplinary approach, when you have the bowls with fruit that are separate. You have the apples separate from bananas. They do not interact, they do not talk to each other. After that, you have a multidisciplinary approach where they go in some kind of interaction. They maybe meet on some meetings, exchange some information, but not so much. In an interdisciplinary approach, you can see this mix and match. You have a fruit salad actually here. Now they mix their flavors of a banana, an orange, and an apple. And in the approach that we like to use, you can have frappe or smoothie, fruit smoothie, where you don't know who is a physiotherapist and who is a special education teacher. I love that when people ask me, what profession am I? Parents. So our program here in Malidom, it's based on activities. It's actually functional, and we use functional activities and meaningful outcomes for children, and meaningful skills for them. For example, here on the top right-hand corner, you can see a daily schedule of a student, and in the first section you can see a spoon. That means he's going to have a lunch, and after that he has folded cane, which means he has an O&M instruction after that, and then a box for finished, where he puts it after he's finished. And on the bottom right head corner, you can see one of our students using his orientation skills while buying fruit for the activity of cooking. He's trying to find the exact fruit he needs. So we try to use, because the children won't walk from point A or move, they don't have to walk, but from point A to point B, if there is no outcome for them that is meaningful for them, if they're not going to listen to a music they like, if they're not going to eat something when they come to the place they're going. We also use routines. Every day is pretty much the same here. It offers them safety, consistency, and of course, natural consequences. And the main issue with children with profound intellectual disability is generalization in other situations, in other surroundings. So we try to do activities that are known to them and in situations that they actually occur in real life.
So today we're mainly talking about the transdisciplinary approach, and we are really trying to take into account all fields of development, but Martina is mainly vision therapist, I'm a physiotherapist, so what we are talking mostly about is a combination and transdisciplinary approach in visual development and motor development assessment and rehabilitation. So just a few words to be conscious what are we talking about when we talk about motor development and how to connect those slides with later ongoing presentation. We do know that motor development is some kind of acquisition of motor skills at a certain age in accordance with motor developmental milestones. And milestones will simply be some specific periods of time in which the acquisition of some skill is expected. For example, a child can rotate from lying supine to prone on the tummy at around age of 5 to 6 months. But it is not strictly 5 or 6 months. It can be few weeks later, few weeks before or after. So we do have some window of possibilities. And the important thing is to be aware that all fields of development, motor also is strongly related to other developmental areas. On this slide, we can see a quick progress of a typically developing child from 0 to 6 months old. So from lying on the back in a supine position, child slowly accomplish more complex anti-gravity activities such as lifting and turning and having his head free for exploring and for primary visual exploring. And at around 3 or 4 months, child accomplished and oriented himself on medial line of the body, as you can see in this third picture from left. Later, the child is more stable and in supine and also in prone position. And on the top right hand corner, you can see child playing with his feet. So it slowly accomplishes eye-hand, eye-feet coordination, which is really important for later visual and motor organization, exploring and development. After that, from 6 to 12 months, child slowly begins to have more stability in all positions and more and much more repertoire of movements, especially in trunk, which enables him to start pivoting to the left or to the right in space. And this tummy time is really important because when he is on tummy, child slowly builds his strength and possibilities, which are important for later stages of development. For example, like lifting to his knees, crawling, sitting, and transferring from sitting position to kneeling, half kneeling, and finally going to standing position, firstly with some stable surface and later without stable surface. So just a few words about typical motor development. We don't know that when child has some kind of visual impairment, so that is not typical development. When child has some kind of visual impairment, it has a great impact on motor development and vice versa. So just to be aware of that. We use, me also as a physiotherapist, I use one motor assessment. It is called gross motor function measure. Some of you, I suppose, heard about the GMFM assessment. And what I wanted to point out on this slide, as you can see in picture, on the top right hand corner of the picture, we have children with cerebral palsy with and without CVI, so cerebral visual impairment. GMFM assessment assess motor development and motor behavior in 5 dimensions. The most important on this slide is dimension letter C, which assess motor development and behavior in crawling and kneeling. Crawling and kneeling is so crawling and kneeling first period in the first position in which child starts to explore and move around in space. And what is interesting, that in that dimension, children with CVI score significantly lower results in that dimensions because their visual impairment didn't allow them to explore and to move as much as children with CP but without CVI. So it was interesting to me to notice that the most yes, the biggest difference.
Dina, please help us.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just needed to remember a word. The biggest difference in results was in that dimension C. And that is dimension in which child start to move around the space. And also, if someone is maybe interesting, GMFM has its adapted version where we can use some auditive instructions and clues for a child which has visual impairment. So he can't see good enough, but we can give them clues with the sounds, and thus enable him to score better results. What we think is the most important to say is in atypical development. So if a child or a toddler or maybe young adult with some kind of visual impairment has altered visual input, and we add that also means that the motor output will be atypical or different, but it is not abnormal, it's just different. And maybe this different motor output is the best child can do. So it's totally okay for that person or a child. But when we combine the altered visual input and different motor outputs together, usually we have more or less visual motor difficulties, and also difficulties in learning because of poor concentration. Sometimes it is difficult for child to concentrate on something because it requires big effort both from visual and motor development, and also coordination of visual and motor part of development. So now I'm heading to Martina again. Thank you.
So I'm glad we had the previous presentation about little room. As you can see here on the right side, child in little room, we also use it mainly in our early intervention, but after that with the children who stay very long in lying position. As you can see here, I pointed out how the orientation goes from one own's body to proximity, a small space around like a little room, and then on a working surface and of course in a classroom or a home. The main thought that guides us is that we go from pre-intentional, as Herwe already said, pre-intention, a child has no intention of moving in the first months after they're born, and then they have intention to grasp and take an object. And communication also comes from pre-intentional to intentional. And what our job is here to make it, of course, safe for children first and most of all, and then fun. Dina, I think we can go now on questions about this theoretical part, if there are any.
So we have just one comment from Julie. She says, I wonder if, because the milestone of crawling is the first movement out of space and there is no visual example of that unless people are crawling around. In other words, more visual input of what crawling is. Did you got that?
Yes, but I'm trying to understand the question.
I don't understand also the question. Milestone of crawling is the first moment. So the child cannot imitate another person to learn how to crawl. Is that the question? Am I getting it right?
That's more of a comment, yeah. They don't see others crawling, yeah.
And what happens in crawling is that a child is safer in kneeling position and going out kneeling because it has free hands to explore and to protect the head. And when you are crawling around, your head is the first to hit something. So the child is, of course, scared of that if it has no vision.
We also have a comment from Amy that she says maybe crawling to the source of sound could also kind of, yeah.
I suppose, I don't know, but I suppose this is a question about assessment of which I mentioned. So if I get it right, yes, we can use sound and other auditive clues to make a child start to moving. I think I understand the question well, but yes, making a sound or giving any other auditive clue is a good way of to make people to make child move. Yes.
Yeah. We also have a comment from Jamie who said, when I try to get students to crawl, we often place a scooter under the stomach to aid in the movement and position. So something that's movable under the stomach.
Yes, I often read about mobility aids, and I think it's a great idea. Yes, someone said, yes, scooter is a great idea, just email the phone. Yes, I think aid mobility and aided mobility from early age on is really great, because if a child cannot move himself around, okay, we have mobility aid, and that mobility aid will give the child more chance to move around. So it's completely okay, and I totally agree with it.
Okay. I think you can continue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we have some practical part. So we wanted to see what others think about and what ideas they would have in two situations. This is one child from our program. He was in our early intervention. This was a few years ago. So then he used kneeling and crawling mainly to move around. He could walk by holding furniture, but very small distances. And he used a wheelchair that were not active. He was moved by another person. So now you can see a video. Stop. Okay, pratiš stop. So you can see him kneeling. He has knee protection, and his one hand is protecting his head, and the other one is trailing the table. Now going to the chair and trying to find the wall that is in 90 degrees. He now changed direction and is still trailing the wall. And now comes to an end, to open space. So yeah. So I wanted just to say that I worked with him first in the classroom, so he could find his way from his desk to the place he could rest. This was going from his classroom down the hallway to the toilet. He didn't use any orientational aids. He just used a wheelchair. So my question for the audience would be, what would you do next with the child? If you need any more information, you can just ask.
Okay. Just before that, we have a comment from Valerie. That she said that I like that even though he's crawling on two knees, he uses his upper forearm protective technique.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Valerie. Just the question, what would be your ideas? There is no wrong idea. I just wanted to hear what you would, in your experience, what would you do next? Would you maybe use some other aid? What would your plan be in the next sessions with this child?
Erin wrote trailing while standing or pre-cane device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, adapted mobility device.
Mm-hmm.
From two more people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe using a walker.
He used a walker, but you cannot see in this video, maybe Hervé, you can understand how he could walk. He didn't have his legs straight.
Thank you. I can say so. He was using walker, but this is a child with spastic bilateral type of cerebral palsy, and his lower extremities showed really a high level of muscle tone, and his knees were touching each other and rubbing while walking. The standing position, especially with walker, holding a walker and trying to walk with a walker, was extremely difficult and took him really a lot of energy, and he couldn't concentrate himself on a space around him. He was all in using all of his power to move the walker. So that's why we decided not to use that, because he was really tired and it was so exhausting for him. And it was really walking of really low quality.
We have some more comments, like begin introduction to cane or adaptive mobility device, locating destination, learning signage using sound, another adaptive mobility device or long cane. We have a question from Nikki. Does he wear ankle, foot, or orthotics? Some for ankles.
No, he didn't wear those. He went through once or twice through a Botox surgery. It was injected to his lower extremities.
All right. Okay. Another suggestions are maybe using a gait trainer or a wheelchair mobility, and people are asking about what about can he stand up? Maybe using a fixed ladder to encourage using upper body to pull up, push to stand mobility, toddler cane, like something for walking supports. Melody suggesting adding symbols for communication to identify destinations, start on building understanding for sequences, making requests to go to destinations with symbols.
He is a verbal child. Now he speaks a little bit less because he's a teenager, but I will talk about it later on. But he could ask and answer simple questions. So he could say that he needs to go to, for example, to the toilet. He can say that and ask for it. But you have to keep in mind that here in Croatia, a lot of these mobility aids, Dina, correct me if I'm wrong, we do not have them here. We have to order them from other countries. And when I talked to his parents a few years ago, the idea of using a cane in a wheelchair was like really strange to him.
Okay.
Yeah, so
yes, there are some comments about wheelchairs and using a cane together.
Yeah.
We have a question about do children with cerebral palsy and CVI who have delayed acquisition of crawling or they do not master that skill, do they go directly to standing position?
Thank you. Yes, we see that type of children sometimes. So it's not a rule, but yes, it is often possible. And we have really children who can accomplish some more difficult motor skills, but for example, crawling and high kneeling, no. But the main problem then is their visual impairment and visual organization, and the combination of motor and visual impairment. So thank you. Yes.
Can we go now to the next slide, maybe, so you can see these all of these answers, I think, are great ideas. But I'm worried about.
We can move on. We'll put that in a special document and we'll share it afterwards.
Okay.
Then.
So we tried to use active wheelchair. The parents were okay with the idea. So you can just see now he, in the first video, he started here using his active wheelchair. This is coming out of his classroom. He went straight to the other wall. Now I'm giving him a prompt to go back to the wall. He needs to be trailing so he doesn't go from one to the other side of the hallway. He's here just starting to learn how to use the wheelchair, how to operate it. So the orientation is a bit, he has some concepts, but it's a little bit hard for him now. This was, I think this was 2019. You can see the Christmas decorations. Yeah, and the second video is him going out of a room, but going reverse. So I help him. He's near the Christmas tree. We decorated the tree, and now we are going out of this room, and I'm just helping him to see where are the borders, so he knows how to operate the wheelchair to get out of the room. So this is him now. He's now 18 years old. Now he talks a bit less. Now, unfortunately, he lost his father 2 years ago. He still has tangible symbols in his daily schedule. And now he uses an active wheelchair, of course, and trailing technique. He can independently perform all transfers from lying to standing position. And now you will see how he can come from the chair to his wheelchair. We knew this would happen, sorry. Sorry, we can put the videos. Yeah, this is him going much more food. This is him going from the chair to his wheelchair, and now you can see how his legs are not stiff, and they're not straight. He can position himself. And this is on the other video. You can see him going now to the toilet. He is trying to navigate and also find the door. The caregiver gives him a prompt by tapping on the sign for the toilet. And this is a push door, so you can see now that she needs to help him a little bit. So he opens now and goes. This is what he does every day, at least twice. So this is very known to him, and he's very motivated to go, of course. So it has a meaning for him. Okay.
Just to add one thing, so about transdisciplinary approach and teamwork with a child like this. So someone mentioned in comments, we know that he can walk, it is really exhausting, but he can walk with a walker. Our idea, and we suggested to parents, was active wheelchair. Why? This is not some that we underestimate his possibilities. We were thinking about how can he move around and be independent and participate with less effort from him. So we decided to use active wheelchair because he was more free. He was really independent and didn't spend so many energy. And this was
but
really good idea.
We also have in mind that he has different ways of moving. Sometimes he can walk with his family. Sometimes he can use kneeling in his home, and for larger distances he can use active wheelchair. So we are going to the next one. This is another one also in our early intervention program, and it was included at the age of 3. At first, he didn't have any initiative to go around. He would cry, and we had to sing to him so he wouldn't cry. when left without his mother. He could walk at the age of 3, holding a hand of another person. This is him at the beginning of his lessons here now, using one of our aids for children, for smaller children. As you can see, it has a wheel down, but also using a sighted guide technique. And after a few years, we started to have a problem, and I'm going to show you. This is me trying to get him up. And on the first video, you can see him in the classroom going down and sitting and refusing to stand up. And in the next video, you can see him doing that on the stairs. So this is a situation that was occurring for weeks, even months. And the thing that happened to his mother, that he was on a crossroad and he did that and the car came. So he would do that unexpectedly. He refused to walk, even though he had something waiting for him after the walk, or we would announce that we were going somewhere to do something he liked. But it was a phase that we had a problem. So my question now is, did you have any experience with that? And what did you do? The person who was with him was not important. The activity was not important. It happened almost every day in almost every situation.
Okay, Nikki asked, what is the payoff for him in sitting down?
I don't understand the payoff. I don't know. I don't understand the term.
Was there any?
Can you translate the motivation? Yeah, that is something to be aware of. Yes, behavioral. Yes, we're on a good path. Yes, with all of the staff and with all of the activities. Yeah, of course he's doing, and he would also do that when driving another child in a wheelchair. When we had a shortage of staff, we would go with 2 children on a short route. So he would do that even when it was not with the cane, or just with the cane. It was when he used a sighted guide, he pulled the other wheelchair. No, he wasn't in pain, no.
We have just some comments saying maybe it is control on his part. That's the way he has a control over things when he sits down. Somebody suggested a functional behavioral analysis to determine the function, escape, attention, avoidance. So Joan said, I had a student to do this daily. I counted to 3 verbally to give her a break. Then I helped her stand and we continued. She finally would walk with me, but the classroom staff gave in and she ended up in a chair. Yeah.
For all the comments, we read all the comments. I think we can conclude that we do have all some experience with children like that. But I think the important is to all the staff to have the same ways of solving that kind of problem. As Joan said, the classroom staff gave in and she ended up in a chair. So we really need to be consistent and to be in touch with each other and to have exactly the same ways of solving this problem. And we maybe can expect the child to change those behavior. It's behavioral thing. Someone said he really does that with reason. That's correct.
Yeah, what we did, we had a staff meeting. Every time something like this happens, we have a colleague here that is educated more in behavioral and unpleasant behavior. I don't know how to unwanted, inappropriate behaviors with children. So we had a staff meeting and we decided we saw in what situations when it helped, what doesn't help and what helps. So we had an agreement and we put it down in a paper and it was in the classroom. So everybody were familiar with the steps. We asked the physiotherapist how can we do it best for him and best for us, so we don't have back pain all the time when walking with him, and of course the support for the parents, and it doesn't happen. Fortunately, it was a phase that passed. What we actually did when he did that, he could sit for a very long time like that. So what we did was go behind him. That was the only time we went behind him. I know he's a blind student and we shouldn't do that, but we helped him to go to a kneeling position and just put him out of his balance. He would kneel with one hand and then go straight up, and then we would walk, and then he would walk, I don't know, for 20 meters and then do it again. And it was a thing that happened less and less. And of course, we had motivational activity in the half of the O&M instruction, and then at the end, so he knew what he could expect. And we, for a period of time, he had most of his lessons in the classroom. He just went to toilet and to eat. He didn't leave his classroom very much.
Just to say, we have 10 more minutes, I think.
Now this is him. He doesn't do that anymore. He's very happy and he likes to walk around. This is him coming back from a store nearby where he goes with his group and they buy products for the activities that they do. He pretty much orients himself well on food tray. He now uses white cane indoor and outdoor, of course, with a sighted guide. And skill to orient on information that are from the white cane that are emerging. He's better now when coming to the stairs. He uses the information from the cane. And now you can see, let's go to the next. And this is the best thing, that we can see how he uses his orientation skills here without a cane, but in a functional activity. Now this is his daily schedule, and our colleague, she showed him that he is going to recycle some bottles. Yeah, that's nice of her. Yeah, he's very happy to do it. He's very happy to move. He knows what he's going to do. Why is he going there? And yeah, very happy to do it. And the other video is him going out. You can see he's carrying baskets, bottles with him, and just using the other hand to orient. So this is another level for him. He's actually doing something and also oriented and moving himself. And now she shows him to change hands, so he can use his right hand to to trail the door and afterwards. And now you can see him using a cane in the hallway, trailing with the other hand and trying to find a way back to his classroom. Yeah, that's it. Oh. Okay. And
so yes, we wanted to point out what really transdisciplinary approach means for us and what are the main benefits. So we really think that we can achieve better quality in our everyday work. So me as a physiotherapist in work with children with CVI or any other visual difficulties, my knowledge isn't enough, and I'm not so good physiotherapist if I don't take into account all the other areas of development. And I really learn a lot from my colleagues, from Martina and others. I think it's and vice versa, and the other colleagues from our physiotherapists and so on. We when think like transdisciplinary, we can really we can get lots of knowledge from different developmental areas. Saying again, excellent knowledge about motor or visual skills, visual impairment, communication development. This is not enough when working with children with multiple developmental disabilities, because we need to take all those knowledge into account to be able to understand and to work efficiently with our children. And during our, I think I can say everyday meetings, or at least 3 times a week, we really share our experience, ideas and knowledge with other team members. So we enrich each other's, and all of us are going forward in knowledge and experience and skills because we have each other. So on this picture, you can see one part of our big team. So we have 48 employers here in Malidom.
And we also very often have like team buildings. So we try to build the team and the relations between us. And this approach, as Hrvoje already said, is the only approach we can actually use and achieve good results with the population we work with. So thank you very much for the attention. Yeah, and if you have any other questions or comments, we would love to hear about it.
There were some other comments related to first case study, but I think we've covered up all, like using a wheelchair. And there is a question, how long did you use the kneeling technique before you saw improvement?
With the first child?
Yeah.
I would have to remember. I think, yeah, he used it, but I just gave it meaning outside of the classroom. He was very proficient in it, but when, I don't know, I would say maybe a few months, maybe less than a few months. Yeah, so he could learn the going from the classroom to the toilet. We used it mostly for that. Outside of the classroom, in the classroom, he still uses it. Yeah, I would say it like that. Yeah, something like that.
We have one question. When you have a child with vision impairment who is not motivated to move, what is the strategy used to get them to move more independently at first?
So thank you. It's really a great question. I will answer first. Maybe Martina will follow up. So I have plenty of children coming on my mind when I see this question. From my point of view, the first thing we need to accomplish with a child like that is having trust in therapist and not being afraid of changing position in space. So the first thing I do is get in touch, get into contact with child, to build trust, that child trusts me, and that child isn't afraid of moving or changing a position of any part of his body. And then when we accomplish that, then we can start to maybe move, to maybe make some transfer with the help of therapist, or maybe alone. I often sing songs. We often motivate child with whatever motivates child. So many of children are motivated with music. So I sometimes play some good song that is child happy with hearing it, and that can be the way. I have that. I have luck that I work in a pool with children. I don't know, maybe some of you work in a pool therapy sessions, and pool is one different therapeutic media, and many children, many of our children are really more relaxed and calm down when being in the water. It's a warm water, 32, 33 degrees, and a pool can be a great place to move and to lose that fear of moving when we work with our children. So, but it's really a great question. Thank you so much. Maybe Martina.
Yeah, and I think the thing I would say is safe and fun, of course, but that's already what Hervé said. It really has to be fun, and it has to have a meaning to that child. Why would I have to move? Or what is the point of moving for me? I don't want to do that because I'm scared that something will happen. So maybe, yeah, first to have a good relation with the child, and of course with the parent, because in early intervention there is the parent in the room also with us. That's children from 0 to 3. And then, yeah, of course, to make it fun, so the child doesn't think about moving like anything else when you try to learn. Yeah.
Right. Martina and Hervé, thank you very much, and good to have you here.